Hi there, guys. Okay, so this video today, um, I want to talk about. I actually, I'm gonna see which one of these videos I like best because I actually did a video maybe a week or so ago talking about the West 4B movement and how in a lot of ways, it's kind of pretty much deteriorated. I went back on TikTok and it's just a lot of crap going on. Um, and at the end of the day, it's really all of the things that I had already spoke about that very first video that I made on the 4B movement. And I was talking about, I was comparing it to the patriarchy. And I was comparing it basically in that saying that men this whole thing with the patriarchy and just the way that it's built, its system, the way it's set up, the background of it and everything, it's not discriminatory. Like it will accept any man that it wants to be a part and that feels the way that they feel, thinks the way that they think, and so forth. And basically, that the reason that I didn't think not only this West 4B movement, but kind of almost any movement for women in general was just not going to work. It's just really because of the togetherness or non-togetherness of women, the pettiness, the fighting, the jealousy, the I want your man, I'll take your man, the oh you think you cute, the oh just all of that stuff. Um, these are just things that really are a problem for a lot of women. And it has been a problem for women. Um, and and those are some of the things that I heard when I was listening to these women talking about, how this movement has kind of just fallen apart. It was a much longer video. I'm gonna try not to make this video too long, but I went into a lot more detail about some of the reasoning behind it. They seem to have been, and let me say, I don't have all the details. The details are very, very sketchy. Um, basically, what they were saying is that there was some woman who they didn't even know. They were trying to say they don't know who she is, but I think they really do. I think a lot of that was just some trying to get some views and likes and trying to stay on the live a little bit longer while acting a little obtuse, like, oh, well, we don't know who you show your face and all this kind of stuff. So, but they were basically, accusing some woman, a black woman, who was possibly from the islands. Um, And I'm just gonna throw the name out there because I don't see where it's anything bad or why would it be anything bad on me. It was supposed to be some woman who goes by the name of Supreme, and that's on TikTok. But it's just a lot of shady things that I heard. Like they had given her a bunch of people had been like giving money for the movement. There were supposed to be products and things that were being made for the West 4B movement and everything that equals somewhere, I can't remember the exact amount, but somewhere between like $50,000 and $55,000 that apparently this woman is just gone. They don't know where she is, who she is. That's what they're saying. Um, and there's a lot of other things behind it. They were upset that the movement was not um, wanting to have transgenders involved in the movement, which, if I get into that, that's going to be a whole other thing because, I mean, y'all, come on. I mean, So they didn't want transgenders. So there's a part of it where they were talking about they didn't want single moms. They didn't want any boy moms, which is another thing I was talking about in the video. How a lot of these women and modern women have some type of thing about boy moms. They just automatically label boy moms as pick me's and oh, you're male identified and all this. And, so then I think they were having an issue with married women, and married women were wanting to know, well, how can we be a part there? How can we help or whatever? You know, um, there was something about some lesbian feminist women who were on some particular live, I guess, on the actual West 4B movement TikTok page, because I guess that's supposedly where things were supposed to be originating, even though a lot of other podcasters talk about the movement as well. So, and from what I understand, these women were advocating for the transgender stuff, and there seemed to be a lot of pushback. And next thing you know, a couple of days later, like all of this stuff just started falling apart. I see a lot of agenda. I really do. I see a lot of agenda in that. I see where we as Black people, period, and I know the West 4B movement is not supposed to be just a Black movement. It started over in Korea, and I went into a lot of that on my first video about the movement. But it was started in Korea, but what these Black women were doing was something that was a little bit more Black woman centered. And I have to say, something that I found historically, and that happens a lot of times with us, with movements and things that we try to have for ourselves, for our communities, for Black women, for Black men, whatever. We are a people that has always been so inviting. We invite everybody, we are open to everybody, and and the problem with that though is that everybody can't come. Everybody can't come because everybody doesn't share our struggle. We need separate stuff. They have separate stuff. Everybody has separate stuff. But when it comes to Black people, our movement always has to include everybody, or it's a problem. And I think when you start adding white feminist women to what is supposed to be a Black woman's movement, it's going to be trouble. It's going to be problems for various reasons that I don't even have time to get into, that I shouldn't have to get into, because you see the history. You see the history of what happens when we include others. The problem that I have is that we are always including others. We're always opening our doors. We're always the first to apologize. We're always the first to issue the apology and say, oh, okay, well, it'll be okay. And we always have to kiss up to everybody and love on everybody and make everybody else feel good, when they never really do. They never really do. We've had no formal apologies in the Black community for anything, really. And that's a whole nother argument, so I'm not going to get into those things. But I think it causes a lot of problems, because from what I understand, right after that podcast where they were giving pushback to these two white feminist women, next thing you know, all this stuff just starts falling apart. And I think when you start allowing other people to infiltrate into Black movements and Black centered things, a lot of times it gets destroyed, it gets sidetracked, it gets derailed. And I think a lot of that is because there's just not a whole lot of real support in Black people really doing their own thing and really going their own way. if that makes any sense. And then, like I said, it'll make sense if you just look at history. Just look at the history of black people and black movements in the United States. They never really go anywhere. They're always infiltrated. And many times the people behind it will use others of us to actually do the infiltrating. And when you start looking at this West 4B movement and all of the crap behind it and all of the background stuff that I heard that happened, it just seems like a big infiltration. It just seems like, a lot of the smart, educated, oh, I have 50 million degrees and I'm a psychologist and I'm a this and I'm the head of a college and I'm this and and I'm not making fun of my black sisters at all, but what I'm saying is that there were a lot of black women throwing degrees around and throwing degrees out there when it was being aimed at black men. Black men don't do this, and black men are not intelligent, and black men this, and black men passport bros, and black men. And it was like, well, I'm educated, and I have this degree, and I have this power, and da. Here's the bad thing about that, because it's a wonderful thing that black women have all these degrees, and it's a wonderful thing that black women are spearheading and becoming judges and lawyers and doctors and just all of these wonderful things, and congressmen and or congresswomen, and really making a lot of leeway in the world, period. It's a wonderful thing, but it doesn't look good when those same women allow some strange woman that nobody seems to know form a movement, and all of y'all get behind that, and there was no research done. And this is some of the things that a lot of the black men who were on there ridiculing them and in the background saying all this crap and that were making them mad, but it is true. Because at the end of the day, they were, they tell other women, oh, well, you need to investigate this man and you need to just get on Google and you need to look this up and you need to research this and blah, blah, blah. But here it is. It looks like all of you college educated women just gave y'all money and threw y'all support behind a movement that has crumbled. And I know you got people out there that I guess are trying to keep it alive. Like, I don't know, because I peeped on that the other day on TikTok, because I really haven't been on there in a minute, but I peeked on there the other day and I saw a whole white woman up there with the West 4B movement screen thing behind her. So I don't know if the white women then took over it or took it or just, well, I don't know. But I saw some of her guests were black women or whatever. So like I don't know. But at the end of the day, and this can sound however y'all want to take it, but I don't see how white women spearheading something is going to be very, very beneficial and uplifting and get black women to where black women need to be. I just don't think so. And I say that because our movements really are different. Our struggles are different. They're the ones who always loved, oh, well, we all bleed red and, we're all just human beings. But that may be true, but our struggles are not the same. Our agendas are not the same. White men and white women still work very strongly and very close together in everything. It's black men and black women and black families and black children and black communities that are completely desecrated. We're the ones that get on social media and talk horribly about each other. Black, I mean, you don't really see that, and I get some black guy who come, oh, well, you don't know, you don't be in the same circles, and white men drag white women too. It may be a few. It may be a few that are out there in these, MGTOW movements and red pill communities and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, as a societal structure, white women and white men are still pretty much together, and they still have the same agenda, and they are going to keep themselves on top. Yeah, that's just pretty much how that goes. Now, the last part I want to talk about is those things that I said about, you know, why this whole movement as a whole, even if we include white women, Chinese women, Hispanic women, Arab, even if we include all those women in a movement for black women, or that is black woman centered, we still, just in general, have way too much jealousy among women. We have way too much fighting and bickering and pettiness among women, which is why, like I said, I made that comparison between the tightness and the togetherness of the patriarchy and anything that the women are trying to do. It just doesn't work, and I figured it was going to fall apart for those very reasons, and those are the reasons that they have fallen apart. Women are just still mean to each other. Women are just very unforgiving and mean to each other. Like it's too much jealousy and competition with women. And that needs to change. I wish it would change. You know, you got the inner stuff just in with black women as a whole, with us. Then you have the outside forces where you have a lot of white women who are jealous of black women. You got Hispanic women who are jealous of black women. I mean, I just don't see a whole togetherness in general of women. I just don't see it. You know, um, I'm going to share with you all this story, and then I'm going to cut the video off. Um, I made a video. Actually made another video that I have not posted yet either. Um, but I told I t- this video that I made was talking about women being, like I said, mean to each other, not coming together, and things like that. Now, after I made that video, there was an article that I read, and this article was written by a teacher. This teacher was like a primary school, or what we used to call elementary school teacher. I think her grade level was third grade. And this woman told a story about how it was kind of surrounding about maybe two little girls who was in essence jealous of another little girl. Now, things happened, things went back and forth and so forth. And at the end of the day, it turned out that one day these two girls caused a fight where they and other kids were initially beating up this one little particular girl that they did not like. Um, there was intervention. There was teachers who finally intervened. There was a cop who they say just kind of happened to be on school campus that day, and he was able to intervene. But what ultimately wound up happening is that they had literally gotten this little girl, beat her up after school, and there was a whole group of kids, up to I think they said about 10, who was just literally wailing on her, hitting her, and just beating the hell out this baby. The end of the story is that when asked, because the little girl was hospitalized, and these two little girls ultimately had to talk to the police. They said that either they thought she was too pretty or she thought she was too pretty. And I think it was that they thought that she was just too pretty. And they didn't like her. And that's what they did. And so the story The article, the woman was bringing up this article because she was making the same points of how little girls start so young being jealous and being petty and finding a way to try to break that. You know what I'm saying? But you got so many grown women who, like I say, a woman will walk in a room. I have walked into so many rooms and I've had women just looking at me up and down. I've had women rolling their eyes at me. I mean, I've literally had women being so nasty, so mean, so ugly to me that didn't even know me. I didn't know them just because. And it's so crazy and it's very isolating once you get to the end of it because it's just like it really caused me to not have a lot of friends, not have a lot of female friends, really all my life. And even to this day, I don't have a lot of female friends. And I've always wanted to, but I was always looked at like an enemy or a threat or, like I wanted somebody's man or something like that. And I have never done anything like that. I would never do anything like that because, first of all, I don't want your man if you my friend because, first of all, that's just not me. That's out of bounds. You don't do that. And I don't want him because he been with you. Like that is the craziest thing to me that there are women and people out here who want somebody else's man because they win with him. They've been with him. Like that. First of all, it's nasty. Like, yeah, that is crazy to me. But I know what happens. I know what happens. But every woman ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what needs to happen to bring women together I mean, because there's always going to be that competition. I think as long as men are around and as long as women feel like another woman is a threat to her because of a man, because that's usually what it's behind. It's usually behind a man. I don't know. I don't know. It's really sad. It's unfortunate, you know? The stories I could share. I could be on here about another hour giving stories and instances of how that has really, really affected me in my life, by women just feeling like I'm a threat somehow. It's crazy. But you guys, I'm gonna be creeping and crawling and looking back and forth in there into that 4B movement and see what's going on. But like I said, the last time I was on there, which I think was earlier this week, I saw a white woman in the place where normally it had been a bunch of black women. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe she one of them lesbian feminists who finally took over the movement. Like I don't know. I don't know. But you guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit all notifications. Let me know in the comments what you think. I guess what I'm saying is that I was right, and I don't like to have to really say that I was right about how this thing was going to fall apart, but it has, and I was, and it's just crazy. Um, Let me say this lastly. I don't think you need a movement for. I don't think you need a movement to not date, not have babies, not get married, and not and just leave men alone. Like if that's what you choose to do, if that is even the best thing for you, like I don't know. That's a personal decision for every woman to make. But if that is something that you choose to do for a certain time in your life or for the rest of your life, you don't need a movement. I made a video a while ago talking about us black people and our savior syndrome. How we're always looking for a leader, always looking for somebody to save us, always looking to be a part of some type of something when we could just do it on our own. You've got all the tools within you. You have yourself. You have the love of yourself, I hope, that you don't need to give your money to some people or organization to do anything. If you want to take that time out to get to know yourself, to love yourself, to figure out what your boundaries are and to make those boundaries and then live accordingly, you can do it. You don't have to be duped and you don't have to join any movements to do that. I don't understand that part of us. I really don't. But so many of our movements have fallen apart. Like they really, really have. And there was good behind them. There was good behind the Black Panthers. There was good behind civil rights movements and a lot of other things. All these things got infiltrated. I don't even want to go into the whole civil rights movement, what the agenda and bullshit was behind that. Seriously. Hopefully you know. If you don't know, do some research. Marcus Garvey, like that. I mean, it's always something. It's always something with us. We need to do our own individual thing, teach our family, teach our children, teach our loved ones, teach our grandbabies on just how to move in this world. And you don't need a savior. You don't need anybody to lead you into anything. You can learn what you want to learn. You can make the money you want to make. You can go to school. You can go to college. You can open this and buy this, sell. We don't need what we think we need. We can do it for ourselves. That's all I'm trying to say. Ladies, be nice to each other. Compliment other women. Help another mom. Help another sister. Help a grandma. Help an elder. Spread love. Be love. Like, I don't know what else to say. We don't have to be mean and hate on each other because she got some pretty red shoes and now you mad and oh, she a bitch. She thinks she look good. Yeah, you think she look good too. It's like she should think she look good. Let her look good. Let her be proud. Let her wear her beautiful lipstick. Let her wear her hair as long as she want to wear her hair. So what? It's a weave. So what? It's a wig, and it look good on her. Compliment her. When you do good for other people, then good comes to you. It's just a law of the universe. A lot of times we don't get good in our life, and we don't get open doors and the things that we want and the way we want them because we're so mean and hateful and ugly and we don't show love. We want everybody to be good to us and show us appreciation and do this for us, and we don't do it for nobody. As soon as we get an opportunity, we nasty, we ugly, we mean, we telling somebody off, we giving somebody the business, we ain't letting nobody talk to us. Like, man, come on. Can't we put that down sometime? Can't we put that down sometime and just operate in love? You guys let me know what you think. Leave me a comment, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until the next video, I'll see you next time.